Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We're looking at doing our daily technical analysis update of oil and natural gas. I'll give you my financial opinions here. Please don't use it as advice, but let's dive in. I'll give you my opinions. And what I've got up is the West Texas oil. We're at 86 bucks. We've got a small little down day. It's got a wick at the top. This could be a little bit of a reversal day. Maybe we have a couple down days here before moving higher. One thing I do want to add when we get into it is I am seeing a little bit of weakness in some of the companies. It does look like they're a little bit tired, but the weakness, it's not necessarily showing up yet in the oil price. So we've got some of the oil producers are stepping away from the price of oil. It's almost like they're disconnecting themselves. You know, they're not connected as much anymore. But this is looking fantastic. We've broken out above the top here. We'll see what this thing does, if we pull back or not. Natural gas is pulling back. You can see this big down day today, down 6%. So we've got oil that is quite strong and natural gas that's pulling on back. So some of the natural gas heavy companies could be pulling back. This could go into a little bit of a consolidation pattern is what it kind of looks like to me. Again, guys, the short term is really hard to get. What I like to see and what I like to do is look at the big picture like this. And let me get this guy out of here. We've got the big old pattern here. We've broken it to the upside. We're in a retest move. This could consolidate for a little bit longer and then eventually work our way higher. So I like the big picture stuff. And oil, on a big picture perspective, is breaking out of a very large pattern. And that's what I like to see. This is the big picture view. It's breaking that to the upside, so that looks absolutely excellent. XOP on a daily basis, we've broken out. It's kind of resting here on top of it. I think it may need to rest a little bit, and then if oil continues higher, maybe we continue higher, but it does look a little bit tired. We put in a bearish piercing pattern here, which usually heads lower. We went lower today. We got a little wick at the bottom. We'll see what happens next, but if we have an up day in oil, I mean, maybe we take off again. SM Energy, again, we got this bearish piercing pattern. We were down again today. I still think that we are probably going to come back. Maybe this is the pullback, and that's all we're going to get. And if oil goes up, we head on higher, or natural gas goes up. But in these kind of moves where you've got big buying pressure, and then you start to see a little bit of selling pressure, these things can continue to walk higher. So I just hold on. I don't really do much. Centennial Resource Development was up today. A little bit of a sideways movement. This is a bearish engulfing still, which means we could potentially head lower. We're at a point here, we got a wick at the bottom here, where the buyers are battling the sellers. So it gets harder and harder to read when you get to some of these points because you've just got this massive volatility. But if the underlying commodity continues to rocket higher, I would suspect this would continue higher as well. Crew Energy is throwing in a bearish engulfing. We got one here and one here, which means that I think we could potentially pull back. Again, it's highly dependent on oil and natural gas. Depends what they do. This one is Callum Petroleum. It's got a little wick at the bottom, and maybe this is it. Maybe we head higher. We are battling out between the buyers and sellers here. Athabasca Oil, a little bit of a down day today. We are above the support line, so I think it still looks okay. Recaf, I put this kind of flag pattern in there. I think we're going to go sideways a little bit and then break it. So I think that'll come soon. Northern Oil and Gas is kind of doing a squeezing ascending wedge where we could break out to the downside a little bit. The potential move down is not very big, maybe like down to here or so. If it were to break to the downside, it could break to the upside and we could run quite dramatically. It's possible. We've got CPG. This guy is just kind of hanging out, going sideways. Usually this indicates that the buyers equal the sellers, and it's waiting for a potential indication maybe from oil. If oil rockets higher, this will probably rocket higher. If oil goes down, it'll probably pull back. Grand Tierra Energy, it's rocketing higher, looking really good and strong. I would just hold on to it. That's what I'm doing. Tellurian's moving sideways today. Pedevco getting a little bit of selling pressure. This thing is in the corner of its pattern, of a very large pattern right in the corner. I think it looks good to break to the upside, but we'll find out. Oasis, again, a little bit of selling pressure up here with this bearish engulfing, and we got a little down day today. We'll see if that's all we can muster. You might see more sideways till slightly higher action. The next one is Comstock Resources. A little bit of a down day today. Doesn't look too bad. We've been mainly chopping sideways. Sandridge Energy, a little bit of a selling pressure today. Looks like we're going to head a little bit lower. That's what it looks like. Ring Energy is chopping sideways. Surge Energy is moving sideways. And then we've got Tamarack. I think this one's Tamarack Valley Energy. Tamarack Valley Energy. And it's a small little down day. Almost a bearish engulfing. It's a very small one. I don't know if I put much pressure on or much validity to it. Looking at the energy service sector, they're mirroring the exploration production companies. It does look like we could potentially turn because it looks like we're almost coiling up, but this coil up could also break to the upside. It highly depends on what oil does, and we got these bullish engulfings a few days ago. Man, what I would do is I would do absolutely nothing. I would hold on to my shares, and this still looks good to move higher for PUMP. EXTN looks a little bearish, like it wants to pull back. We're getting some split messages here. Valaris has been moving on up. A small down day today. It's not really indicating anything. I think the uptrend's still intact. MMA offshore looks really good for a long-term hold. And what happens is it comes on down. It's coming on down, and we're starting to see the rest of the energy service sector break to the upside. I have no doubt that this would probably break to the upside. This would be a good entry point for MMA Offshore Limited. TDW, this guy's breaking to the upside. Just broke to the upside here recently. It's probably going to come into some selling pressure resistance. So we'll probably see a little bit of resistance there in the short term. Next year, Oilfield Solutions get a little bit of selling pressure, bearish engulfing, a little bit of selling pressure today. Could head a little bit lower in the very short term. CHX Champion X Corporation, a little bit of selling pressure today. This is Cactus Incorporated. The buyers are still in control here. It looks like it could potentially head higher. OII, Oceaneering International, a little bit of selling pressure, bearish, piercing. We went lower today. We'll see if that continues a little bit lower. We've got Noble Energy. This is just one big sideways chop fest at this price level. And then we've got Helix Energy Solutions. We could see this go higher with this kind of hammer pattern today. So bearish engulfing, down day, and then we could maybe reverse higher. This sector, I'm seeing, it looks tired, some of them, because they've had such large moves in some of these companies in very short periods of time. Usually they rest a little bit and then they go and take off again. So it also highly depends on what oil does. So if the pressure continues, the buying pressure continues in oil, and we keep putting in really good up days in oil, then I would suspect that the moves continue higher in the energy companies and service companies. So that's what I'm watching. I'm watching oil. I'm not doing anything. Even if we get a pullback, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to do absolutely anything with my shares, guys. Why? Because the market conditions are ripe. They are so ripe, it's ridiculous. And we're seeing 10-year yields go up over the medium term. Short term, they're going to bounce all over the place. But medium and long term, I think they're going to go up. And that's going to provide a good tailwind for our energy companies. So I'm not doing anything. I think energy is going to go far higher than where we are. $86 is going to be laughable in a few years, I think. We're probably going to be at least double that in a few years. And we could see the potential top and between $200 and $300 a barrel, maybe even higher than that. We'll see what oil does, or we'll see what gold does. We'll see what oil accounts for, and we'll find out at the end of this bull market. And I think what's going to happen is oil is probably going to even exceed even my numbers right there. I don't want to say anything too super bullish because I don't want you guys going full bull mode. We need to be calm, collected, stay to our strategies, be diversified amongst the cheapest assets in this world. We've identified what they are on the channel. Obviously, oil is one of those. Oil, uranium, platinum, silver, copper, and some of the rare earth metals, all that stuff. It's all good, guys. And if you venture out into some other ones like graphite, lithium, and cobalt, and all these other ones, that's fine too. Nickel, they're all good. They're all good, and they're going to provide very good returns. You just have to position yourself and just hold on. Don't let the bull buck you off. Don't be chasing gains, guys, or don't be chasing prices. Chase value. Spread out, get your strategy in there, and hold on. If you guys like the analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.